right, so we are less than 3 days out. I cannot wait for this shit to be over. I'm exhausted. So just a recollection, guys, I have, let me see if I done this right. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I have had two Kamala Harris positive dreams the past 2 days. And especially with the Saturday Night Live, the SNL appearance, I think that she knocked it out of the park. And then I literally saw a video of Trump begging his people in the crowd to vote for him. So it definitely seems like the momentum is 100% with Kamala right now. I think the Iowa poll basically predicted what I'm feeling, which is the Iowa poll is showing that there is commonly red states that are going to be outright blue. Okay. So like Georgia, for example, Georgia is going to be blue. Okay. Arizona is going to be blue, right? Like Florida could be blue because, I was seeing a lot of social media activity with Florida that I really was not expecting to see. So I'm like, okay, so Texas, like people think that like Texas is unrealistic, but like if you think about it, it's actually not. So I think Iowa, I think Arizona, California, obviously. So if you think about it, guys, right? If all those Midwest states begin to turn blue, that's an easy win. Okay. Now that's not what I'm predicting or what I think, but like if you think about it, if Kamala Harris, right, is easily able to slam dunk home run Iowa, Ohio, California, Florida, Texas, Georgia, like then she has it in the bag. Like if she's able to occupy swing states with such a gravity that it's a clear knockout, she's gonna win. Okay, so if we begin to see smaller states trickle in on election day or the day after election day, because me personally, I think there's gonna be so many votes that it may be a couple days out. That's just what I feel, but you never know. If the pollsters are very efficient and people vote earlier in the morning and the daytime than at night, because, you know, some people are getting off of work and they're going to go vote after work, and that may be, you know, what kind of holds it up. But if you really think about it, if these people, as soon as it's in the machine and they have people on standby counting what goes to Trump, what goes to Kamala, if you think about it, it could be a home run. Okay. Now that's not my prediction. That's not what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to be just like a complete landslide. I mean, I think people on Trump's side who are like, it's a clear landslide, are a little bit too excited. And I think people that are also, you know, super on the Kamala side, like, oh, it's going to be a landslide. I don't think that, guys. I don't get that vibe. So if it turns out, but like state after state after state is blue, then that is the definition of a landslide. But that's not what I'm thinking of. That's not what I feel. But, you know, I think the past couple of days have been pretty much a home run. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen Trump not be able to open a truck door. We've seen Trump fall asleep on, you know, the campaign trail. We've seen Trump now begging people, please go out and vote for me. Whereas before, you know, he wasn't begging nobody. And just literally less than a half an hour ago, I was on Twitter, and on President Obama's Twitter handle, he had 1.3 million people, or 1.1 or 1.3 million people total that were watching live. Okay, this is not a collective of people watching after the fact. This is a collective of people that literally were live. So when I tuned into Obama's live stream, it was literally 800,000 people, and in less than like 10 minutes, it was 1 million. And I was telling my mom, it's gonna be 1 million. Look at the stats. Look at the stats. It's gonna reach 1 million. 1 million people live watching Obama. Before you knew it, it was 1.3 million people watching Obama live. Okay, so if you look at the data, per precinct, per county, per state, it could be. I don't know. I don't know. But if it is a landslide, I'll be very happy because I can go to sleep early. I don't have to worry about no drama. I don't have to worry about nobody in my ear. But I mean, look at the stats. Like, look at the data. Look at the data. Okay, 1.3 million people in midday watching Obama speak. That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen numbers that high in my life. So yeah, guys, so a little update for those just joining live. Hi. I had 2 dreams back to back. Yesterday and the day before that, I've had 2 dreams back to back of signaling that Kamala is basically going to be the next president. But I don't like to call things early because, like I said, I don't underestimate Trump supporters. I don't underestimate the American people. Keep in mind, right? Keep in mind, as much as we want Kamala to get in and all this stuff, there's going to be thousands of millions of Americans who are still going to want to have Trump in the Oval Office for their own personal and private reasons, right? So I don't underestimate that. You see what I'm saying? There's going to still be people who want Trump to win just as much as they want Kamala to win. So I am kind of thinking of it more of like a level-headed approach, right? Like, yes, to me, SNL, Obama, Trump looking like he's out of gas. You know, he literally looks like he is not functioning. You know, he looks very lethargic. He looks very tired. And his supporters in the crowd at his rallies have been getting less and less popular. And yes, you know, people even in his crowd seem to be very, very confused. Like when Trump is talking, they're looking at him and they're kind of like scratching their heads. So to me, all the signals is that people are kind of like realizing, you know, that the jig is up. You know, the jig and the spell that I think that Trump had on America, I think is definitely broken. Whatever spell that he put on the American people to eat up his bullshit and keep voting for him, I think is basically non-existent. But like I said, you know, there's still people. Make no mistake, guys, there's still going to be countless people who, you know, love Trump, you know what I'm saying? Who love him, who want him to win, who want him to succeed. So I don't underestimate, you know what I'm saying? I don't underestimate nobody. The way that I feel about it is like the American people that have not been lazy and take their time to go out and vote, their voice, their opinion is what's going to tip the scale either in Trump's favor or Kamala's favor. But I think that it's clear. From what I can see, I feel like it's definitely tipping more in her favor. I think the Iowa poll, from what I saw and from the data that I researched, it seems like the Iowa poll, the Georgia poll, the Arizona poll, the Nevada poll, you know, I really think got the Trump camp scared. And Kellyanne Conway, she was spotted at a restaurant telling a friend or whoever was with her that she was nervous about Tuesday. And this guy who's like a celebrity happened to be at the same restaurant, and he posted the pictures, and he has a picture of everyone knows who Kellyanne Conway is, right? He has a picture of Kellyanne Conway looking directly at him because she realized that, oh my God, she realized, excuse me guys, sorry. She realized after the fact that somebody in the restaurant overheard and realized who she was, and then went to Twitter and was like, by the way, Trump's team is panicking because all these polls is like, you know, Iowa, Kentucky, Arizona, Georgia, even Florida, you know, are showing that Kamala Harris got it in the bag. So I am not naive enough to come on here, and I'm not hype to the point where I'm gonna come on here and be like, she's gonna win, home dunk, landslide. Like, I've never used that language, by the way. Like, I have seen countless people who obviously are excited. Clearly they're excited. You know, they like their candidate. They like, you know, what she's proposing for the economy, for child tax credit, for women's rights. Yeah, you know, clearly. And then we had Cardi B. OMG. At some point, I'm definitely going to do a reaction video to J-Lo and Cardi B's speeches, because I think Cardi was in Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken, or Wisconsin. I'm not sure the same thing, but she was in one of those areas, and her speech was incredible. So I want to do a reaction video to Cardi B and J-Lo combined, the Latina ladies, the Hispanic ladies, my girls. I want to do a reaction video to J-Lo and Cardi B, just like I did a reaction video to Mark Anthony's advertisement endorsing Kamala, which I think was incredible. I just want to say, I have been so proud. I have been genuinely so proud of Mark Anthony and J-Lo, and honestly just all the Hispanics. For me, I just feel like the Hispanics have just really kind of embodied like the prejudice and the racism that, you know, black and brown people have experienced in this country. And to me, honestly, the standout speakers for me is Mark Anthony, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Tyler Perry, J-Lo, and Cardi B, hands down. And there's countless others, but just for me, I feel like Tyler Perry, Pastor Bryant, and the Hispanics, for me, guys, it's the Hispanics. Because the Hispanic voices that have endorsed Kamala really, in my opinion, have embodied the racism, the difficulty, you know what I'm saying, trying to get ahead, trying to get an education, trying to raise children. They have, in my opinion, embodied the struggle in this country. And so I'm very, very proud of, you know, Mark Anthony. Keep in mind, Mark Anthony and J-Lo were married at some point. You know, most people would know that, but you know what? Some people out here who don't really follow their kind of music or don't really know much about them may have not known that. Yes, Mark Anthony gave J-Lo her twins. J-Lo and Mark Anthony were married at one point. Now she's with Ben, and I guess her and Ben are on the rocks. I've yet to do a reading on that. I have done a reading on J-Lo and Ben, the chapel rumors. I have done a couple videos with the wedding, but not the divorce. So that's also pending. I have a lot of things I want to give to you guys before the year is out. With that said, Mark Anthony and J-Lo, both Hispanics, both entertainers, both come from working class families, for the most part. So I have just been very, very impressed and humbled, and so pleased to see that they have, you know, a seat at the table and that their voices are heard, because especially in the state that I live in, you know, there's a lot of racism, you know, towards black and brown people, especially towards, you know, Mexican Americans and Puerto Ricans and the like. And I see it. You see what I'm saying? And it's difficult because, you know, not everybody speaks Spanish, but, you know, America cannot deny that even Chipotle, like I just went to Chipotle, like I don't know how America can deny that so much of our restaurants and our small business is influenced by Hispanics, you know, especially in my state. A lot of the small businesses, a lot of the restaurants, you know, are Hispanic owned. So I know for a fact that like they're voting for Kamala because why? Kamala actually cares about them, whereas with Trump and his cronies are making fun of them, you know what I'm saying? Because Kamala is also a person of ethnicity, of color, she understands what Asians go through. She understands what Hispanics go through. She understands what Caribbean folks. She's Black Caribbean like me. I'm Jamaican. If people didn't know, I'm British Jamaican as well. My father's Jamaican, my mother is British. My grandmother, my mom's side is Welsh, European, and my dad's side is Native American and Jamaican Black and African American. So I know firsthand, like, I literally am like Kamala, like, I mix as well, but I'm still black. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still black people, proud black people, but we come from different parts of the world. And so the Trump supporters of the world, they wouldn't get that. You know what I'm saying? They look at Kamala and they're like, what is that? But it's like, to actually black and brown people, we know how that is. You know, we know to have relatives who are from different parts of the world, who are still black, who are still Hispanic, but they're so racist that they can't even conceptualize somebody being black and not just being from Africa or not just being from America. Like newsflash, there's black people who are from the Caribbean, who are from Europe, like myself, and who are both European and American, or both Caribbean and Hispanic. Like, there's all types of black and brown people. And so that's also a key part of, if she wins, a strong if, right? If a miracle happens and America chooses her as the next president, let me tell you, that is going to be a huge spotlight, because the ignorance, you know what I'm saying? The pure ignorance that you can only be Hispanic if you're from Mexico, or if you're from Colombia, or if you're from, you know, there's tons of different places, Spain, Chile, Puerto Rico, you know, we come from all over the world. And I think that's, I mean, not everything, but that is a huge part of the beauty, in my opinion, of the Kamala Harris campaign, is that she has shined a light on what diversity really is, what the melting pot of America really, really is. And for so long, people have just been kind of ignorant to like what it is and what is expected. But in reality, it's like, you know, people that live amongst this and have grown up with different cultural backgrounds clearly understand this point. But maybe people that are, you know, not as open to diversity, or they haven't really been exposed to that, they haven't been raised in that kind of household, or they don't have a kind of family, they really wouldn't understand. And so I think Kamala has done a brilliant job with exposing that. I really do. I think Kamala has shined a light on that. There's not just one type of black person, not just one type of Hispanic person. Clearly, there are so many different types of Hispanics and black people from all over the world. And it's time that they actually, you know, have a voice. And so, to me, Mark Anthony and J-Lo have done that. To me, especially Mark Anthony and Tyler Perry and J-Lo have done that for me. They have just been able to really explain, you know, coming from nothing and turning it into something, and still being successful, and still working hard, and still showing other, you know, brown and black kids that, hey, one day you could do this. One day you could be the president. One day you could be an entertainer. One day you could be a business owner. One day you could be Obama. You know what I'm saying? And that is incredible, you know? And maybe, you know, other people would not understand that, but for us, it's a very big deal. I will be celebrating, guys. I'm just going to tell you right now. I will be celebrating, okay? Just like my birthday. My birthday was the 23rd of October, and I basically have still been celebrating my birthday all month long. We're still in Scorpio season, so I will still be celebrating Kamala. If Kamala is able to pull this off, I expect parties every day. I expect fiestas and celebrations and dance parties every day. I really do. And anywhere that there is a party, anybody that wants to go out and celebrate, I'll be doing that, because you know what? We have to stop waiting for the end result, America. We have to celebrate along the way. Like, for example, when Kamala became vice president, that was so quickly normalized, you know, but I don't even think that we actually took in the gravity of having a first woman be vice president, and now the same exact woman who was sworn in with her hand on the Bible with Joe Biden could now be president. We have to take it in, right? And I think that, you know, after Election Day, after all the votes come in, I think that we all of us in America, all of us as Americans, we should, you know, or naturalized Americans like myself, I'm a dual citizen, we should take it in. We should take it in. We should be excited. We should be happy. And we should really kind of just realize like how far we've come as a nation, as a country, as a people. And we need to celebrate. We need to absolutely celebrate this humongous achievement. And quite frankly, even if Kamala didn't win, which I find hard to believe now with all the evidence I see, but if she doesn't get it, I would still be so proud of her, because I have seen her on Twitter alongside her running mate, speakers, celebrities, Obama, Michelle Obama. I've seen so many people, even up to today on a Sunday, still campaigning, still having rallies, still hosting meetings. I mean, she has busted her ass. Can we just give her credit? Like, please, like Kamala has busted her ass this entire time. This entire time, Kamala has been on the stomping ground trying to get her plan across to the American people, to have confidence in her, to vote for her. It has been so many people, so many places. I mean, sometimes I kid you not, I've seen like her do like 3 rallies in one day, 3 rallies in one day. And then here we have sluggish, racist Trump talking about, her crowd size. I mean, she has pulled off 75,000 people. 75,000 people were at one of her speeches, just one, not spread out, one. So to me, the American people are clearly signaling, listen, we're ready to turn the page. We're tired of the drama. We're tired of Trump's shenanigans. And yes, you know what? After I saw Trump's, I think he was also in Milwaukee. After I saw what Trump said yesterday, I am more convinced more than ever now that I think that one of the main reasons, or maybe the only reason why Trump ran, besides of course, pushing up his hotels and all that, and all his Trump Bibles and Trump watches and Trump sneakers. I mean, who the hell would buy that? But if you bought that, whatever, I'm not going to judge you. But I mean, he's a businessman. So when he's going out campaigning and all this stuff, he's trying to sell more merchandise, more Trump merchandise, and people that can't see that, I don't know how you cannot see that. I mean, he's charging ridiculous amounts of money for things you could buy off of Alibaba or Temu or even Amazon, and he's jacking up the price. And I guess his diehard supporters are buying up his stuff. And that's up to them in their own wallet. I'm not going to judge. Like I said, I'm not going to judge because you do you. But I do think it's kind of insane that they're not actually hip to the gimmick by now. You know what I'm saying? They're not hip to the gimmick. Like even one podcast I saw with Trump, he literally was talking about, the first thing I heard him say was my hotel that I sold on Washington Ave or something like that. Some kind of hotel he had in Washington. And he was basically bragging to the guy interviewing him about a hotel. I thought you were here to talk about your plan for Americans. I thought you were here to talk about the economy, Trump. But no, typical Trump, typical plain old Trump, he's out there talking about what? His merchandise. Buy my Trump Bible. Buy my Trump watch. Buy my Trump sneakers. Okay, that's what he's running for. And besides running to sell more of his crap, he's trying to avoid prison time. He's trying to avoid not going to jail. That's so clear. He said it himself. He said yesterday that if you guys don't vote for me, I'm in big trouble. Look it up on Twitter, look it up on Facebook, look it up on YouTube. If I have a chance, I'm going to play the clip and show you guys, okay? Or maybe I'll even upload it myself. He said it verbatim. He's like, if you don't vote for me, I'm in big trouble. What is big trouble? Going to prison? Being persecuted for your crimes he's committed? So he's running to stay out of prison, guys. He's running to beef up his portfolio. That's it. That's it. And I'm not being funny. I genuinely feel so bad for his supporters that think that he was actually running to save America, to help American people. Like, it's so obvious that that's not the case. He was running all this time to sell merchandise, to avoid crimes, to avoid being, convicted of more counts against him. That's why he ran. And it's sad because other Americans don't believe that. Other Americans really have convinced themselves that no, this guy is running for me. Maybe because of racism, maybe because of other kind of colorist issues. But besides that, this guy was running to avoid prison time. That's why he ran. That became very clear to me just yesterday. Really. Like, yesterday solidified it for me. Like, this guy was not running for us. He was running to stay out of prison. So the choice is clear to me. But like I said, I am not going to judge other American people. I'm not the kind of person, guys, you know? I feel bad for them. Like, when I drive, like when I'm out like running errands, like even yesterday I was at Walgreens and I saw like somebody had a Trump sticker on their car, and keep in mind, their car was old. And I'm not trying to sound funny like at all. Like, people that have nice cars and are established, I don't see no Trump sticker. I don't see no Trump sticker. But poor folk and people who I guess are more, I don't know what they are really, but these people, I don't know where they come from, but they have the stickers on their car, and, you know, they look impoverished. So, you know, when Trump says, I like the poor and uneducated, you know, why do you think he says that? He says that because they're easy bait, okay? He says things like that because they're easy targets. And that's sad. That's nothing that we should celebrate. And I think after the fact, once all is said and done, you know, somebody needs to shine a light on that, because this guy has abused Americans who actually love this country. He's abused and twisted their minds to support him. But he's been a con artist. He's been a con artist this whole time. But I'm not going to waste my energy trying to convince people of that. You know what I'm saying? If some people don't believe that he's a con artist, that's up to them. But I'm telling you, with everything in my heart, he's a con artist. And he's selfish. And he's cruel, because he's really twisted the minds of innocent Americans who actually love this country to buy his bullshit and gobble it up, all so he can avoid prison time. And that's sad, guys. That is like the lowest of the lowest of the low. But I know that God is the ruler, the Alpha and Omega of everything, right? So is Mother Nature. So Mother Nature and the Alpha and Omega will take care of it, right? We'll take care of it. I'm not worried about that. But I just think it's sad that some people that are decent people, you know, have fallen for that trick, have fallen for it. The evangelicals, the Christian population, especially, you know, they have fallen for this trick. They have been played. And it makes me sad for them, because like their intentions are pure, but Trump's intentions, guys, were never pure. Trump's intentions were never pure. And that really was solidified to me from this entire campaign season. He's only focusing on himself. When the going gets tough and people ask him tough questions, it's all about him. It's all about his hotels. It's all about his merchandise. It's all about his grandkids. Nothing to do with nobody else. Nothing to do with the American people. It's all about Trump. And the key difference is with Kamala, it's all about us. It's all about raising up the middle class. It's all about, you know, those who are, you know, entrepreneurs and they become very wealthy, you know, having a tax code fair enough where if you are a billionaire, if you are a multimillionaire, yes, you know what I'm saying? You have to pay your employees correctly. You have to pay your fair share. Why should the poor and the middle class and the upper middle class pay more taxes than people who are rich? That makes no sense. Okay. So the tax code, right? The tax code, childcare, you name it. There's so many incredible issues and incredible topics that Kamala actually has a plan for, and that is for the American people, not for her, not for how she can get rich, not for how she can become a next household name, nothing to do with that, right? Kamala, I believe that Kamala literally ran because this is what has been close to her heart for decades. Okay, I know Kamala looks really, really good for her age. Even Trump said it. Trump thought she was like way younger. I thought she was way younger. The chick is in her 60s. Kamala is in the 60s bracket, and she looks easily 45, easily 42. She looks incredible. But I will say this, okay, just like J-Lo, right? J-Lo is in her 50s. And look how good J-Lo looks. But that's because when you live a clean lifestyle, when you have a pure heart, and you love people, you age correctly. Okay, when you're full of hate and racism and venom and this and that, you don't age right. You don't age properly. But when you actually have a clear conscience and you live with integrity and with dignity, you age very well. You age incredibly well. And so with that said, right, if Kamala gets in, she's going to age. Okay, because Obama did. When Obama went in, he had a whole nice flock of, jet black hair. And then when he left the White House after 2 terms, after 8 years, he was gray haired. Why? Because the job's very stressful, right? Being president of the free world is stressful, very stressful. So as good as Kamala looks now, right? As good as Kamala looks now, if she gets in and she wins, I'm not expecting Kamala to be the same high energy, 6 years from now. I believe she will, but I'm saying in terms of her looks, I'm not expecting her to look like she's 20 something. She's 60 something years old. She's younger than Trump. She's younger than Biden. So she's a clear choice. She is the clear choice. But you have to keep in mind, guys, there's other people who have different perspective, and that's fine. But as long as the overwhelming majority of Americans say, we want Kamala, we want to turn the page, we're tired with the shenanigans, I'm happy, right? But if America gets bamboozled again, gets hoodwinked and bamboozled, and this orange fraud gets back in, well, then I don't know. I guess we'll see, right? I guess if that was to happen, I'll come on here and share my thoughts. But God willing, by the grace of God, if it's, God willing, I won't have to do that, right? I won't have to come on here and say that. But like I said, I'm open, I'm saying? I'm open to all possibilities, right? I'm not the kind of person where I'm looking at the first of all, the polls. Like, I agree with Trump and Kamala. You cannot go by the polls. The polls are a hypothesis. The polls are a small pool of data. You cannot go by that. What you can go by is the votes. What you can go by is the votes. The votes is what's going to determine who is the next president, period. Not the polls, not any news network. It's going to be, who do the American people vote for? Who did the American people vote for? Is who's going to get in. So I am going to respect either, but I think that, we'd be better off with Kamala, but we're going to have to see, guys. Like I said, we're going to have to see. But all the momentum, right? All the momentum, to me, I'm in a typically red state, right? Like, I'm one of those swing states that's known for being a red state. And to me, I have seen, I don't know. To me, it just seems like this is going to be blue. Georgia, same thing. Georgia was known for being a red state. And then, once Biden got in, people voted heavily for Biden to get Trump out of there, including myself. I voted for Biden and he won. So at first I was like, I don't know if my state is going to turn blue, but like, the more I've seen people on the street, like literally like holding up Kamala signs and Tim Wall signs, and it's a possibility. Like I said, I'm open to the possibility that traditional red states are blue, including my own. I'm open. My county is already blue. The county that I'm in is already blue. But I'm talking about the state, right? I'm talking about the state as a whole. So the state as a whole, it happened with Georgia. It happened with Arizona. So to me, if she wins Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Florida, and yes, even Texas, because Texas has had a lot of strict women's bodily autonomy laws that are against women. So, Texas women are coming out in droves too. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, if people vote, a lot of these states that are predominantly red, you never know, it could turn blue. It could turn blue. Well, anyway, I'm going to get off here, guys. The sun is beaming down on me. I think this is a clear signal that we're on to better and brighter days, America. I'm confident. I'm confident that, you know, I think that we could see her story, not historic, her historic win. And I think she is the favorable candidate right now. I think America has really taken, you know, liking to her. And I think that it's a strong possibility she could win. But I'm never going to say outright, oh, yeah, she's going to win. But I think that right now, the momentum is clearly showing that, you know, she could win. So don't worry, you all. When I go to vote on Tuesday, I'm going to live stream myself driving there. I'm going to talk about it with you all. If I have time, which right now, my schedule's been crazy, but if I have time, I will do a couple reaction videos to some of the speeches I've seen, like, you know, J-Lo, Cardi B. I would love to do a reaction video to J-Lo and Cardi B's speech. I would love to do that, but I gotta have the time. So maybe on Tuesday, when, you know, we have the day off, I'll be able to do that. So I love you guys tremendously. If you voted, I'm so proud of you. If you're a first-time voter, I'm so proud of you. We're in this together, guys. Americans, all of us together, we will win, right? We will win. I feel that if we all vote, like we've done our civic duty, we've gone out to vote, we've not been lazy, we've not been stagnant, we've been getting the word out here, we've been showing and exposing how disgusting Trump and his people are that support him and his speakers and all this stuff, and how they really think about women, how they really think about minorities, how they really think about America, you know, Trump calling America, you know, the trash can of the world. I mean, this guy is so vile. Trump is so vile. But with all that said, I still respect that people want him to win. You know what I'm saying? Just like I want Kamala to win. But like I said, it's not just my vote or your vote. It's about America's vote. It's about what has the overwhelming majority of Americans voted for. That's who's going to determine who's going to get in. It has to be a collective effort, not just one county, not just one state. It has to be all of America, majority of America saying, we want Kamala Harris. That's it. And if America says we want Kamala Harris and the vote proves that, then guess what? She will be the next president, the 47th president of the United States of America. So I love you guys. I'm tired. I'm going to go have my dinner. I got to work later. So guys, please say a prayer for me. I'm exhausted. But, you know, I've done my part. Like, I've come on here. I've shared links, you know, vote.org, you know, from the jump. I've come on here and I've every step of the way, every single step of the way, I've come on here and told you guys how I feel about what I've seen with Trump and all the things I've seen. And I think the choice is very clear. The choice to me is very, very clear. But we're just gonna have to see, okay? Love you guys. So please thumbs up. Share the video if you want. Subscribe if you want, okay? Because I'm gonna be going live on Tuesday, and probably before that, I'll probably go live too if I get a chance. So I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Let's pray. Let's keep our positive spirits up. Let's stay positive. She could do it. You know, I have no doubt that she could do it, but it has to be up to the American people to put her in there. All right. Love you guys. Bye. Bye. So good luck to Kamala. Good luck to you, honey. You know, we've watched you work your ass off, Kamala. We've watched you grind, honey. You know, you could do it, but America just has to believe in you and vote.